Elon Musk is reportedly building a new city, which might act as a hub for multi-planetary travel. Yes, that's right. If things go right, the ambitious spaceport will end up being the site for multiple launches to the moon and also to Mars, and maybe further beyond in the future. But why does Elon want a city instead of another sophisticated launch pad or another advanced SpaceX facility? We'll keep watching till the end to find out. Musk began his process of establishing his own city back in late February and early March 2021 when he officially approached the Cameron County administration. A press release from the county judge's office made it clear that Musk had to abide by all relevant statutes and that any application would ultimately be judged against applicable laws. The secluded community of Boca Chica Village was once a haven for retirees, adventure seekers who love dirt biking, lounging near the water, and also for the snowbirds. But today, that is not the case, all thanks to SpaceX's Starship facility. But that alone does not stop Elon, as he wants to take it even further by building a city encompassing the Boca Chica Village and surrounding area. If you know Elon Musk, you might know about his deep desire to make humans a multi-planetary species by introducing human civilization to the Red Planet. That's exactly the reason why SpaceX exists in the first place. But as a first step towards a larger goal, Musk wants to build his own city called the Starbase. The Starbase will be accommodating everybody who wants to work at the launch site. The Starbase would be a perfect place to be for those people who intend to fly on the rocket and for those who want to witness the spectacular sight of a rocket launch. SpaceX announced its intention to build a launch facility at the Boca Chica Village on the U.S. Gulf Coast in 2014 after an extensive environmental assessment conducted by the U.S. Federal Aviation Authority. Musk used to launch his Falcon rockets at launch sites that are leased from NASA and the U.S. government. But the Boca Chica site is fully owned by the company. Most residents ended up selling their properties to SpaceX and moved away, but a few refused the deal. They will still have to cooperate with the company during rocket launches by temporarily evacuating their homes prior to the rocket launch. But this is SpaceX we are talking about, so there will be way too many launches, and those residents who refuse the deal will eventually have to move out of the place. Well played, Elon. Now, creating a city comes with several benefits for SpaceX. It might, at least in theory, help the private space company to attract more future employees, attract more businesses that revolve around this aerospace industry. This could also be done to attract workers to the job sites, as their transportation and travel time will be drastically reduced because they are living right next to the SpaceX facility. The reason why we have SpaceX in the first place is because of Elon Musk's deep desire to establish a city on the Red Planet, making humans a multi-planetary species. Musk wants at least 1 million humans to settle on the Red Planet. This is by far his most ambitious goal, which could keep him occupied for at least the next 3 decades. When Elon Musk was asked why exactly he is this ambitious, he stated that this is an incredibly important thing for the future of life itself, because there are high chances that something might go wrong on Earth. Just look at the dinosaurs, for example. They are nowhere to be found. Boca Chica is also home for one of the most audacious space vehicles, which is the Starship and the Super Heavy, both of which will be carrying cargo and people to both the moon and in the future to the Red Planet. For those of you who don't know, Starship is a next-generation launch vehicle which is about 50 meters tall and 9 meters in diameter. Most of its internal space will be living quarters, and it can also be converted to carry cargo. The Super Heavy rocket is about 70 meters tall and would be powered by at least 29 Raptor engines, which is also manufactured by SpaceX in Texas. The number of engines can change during different development stages of the vehicle. Both the Starship and Super Heavy combined will be 120 meters tall, making it taller than the Saturn V rockets that NASA used to carry astronauts to the moon in the late 60s and 70s. The Starship will also be able to generate almost twice the thrust of NASA's moon rocket. The differences do not end there. Saturn V is a single-use spacecraft, but that is not the case with the Starship, because everything about this powerful rocket is reusable, which means both parts can land vertically back on the launch pad at the end of the mission, which will also bring down the costs if Elon Musk is really serious about transporting millions of humans to Mars. Think of it like an airplane that could transport humans to another place, but this time the place is outside our planet. It is unlike anything we have seen before in this space, and once the project is complete, it will be the most powerful rocket ever launched. Today, the village of Boca Chica has quickly become a tourist destination and also attracts enthusiasts who are curious about space travel. If Starbase becomes a reality, it will end up becoming a city with some of the best infrastructure along with the testing and launching of Starship rockets. The project would also be a functional way to redevelop and lift the county out of poverty while changing the way we look at the entire village. The changes will not only be limited to Boca Chica, but the whole region in southern Texas will taste development. Once the Starship is out, it will keep SpaceX ahead of the curve. The launch site also witnessed development at an incredible pace. The construction work began during early 2016, and the place was ready for test launches in 2019. This clearly shows SpaceX's enthusiasm when it comes to accelerating new development in space tourism. It also shows the true colors of Elon Musk as a highly driven individual. The first major test flight at Boca Chica took place in December 2020. That was when a Starship was launched into the air to test the vertical landing system. Everybody thought that it was almost successful until it exploded on contact with the pad. After that, 4 more test flights were needed for it to fully showcase what it was capable of. From all these tests, the robust nature of the launch site, despite so many explosive mishaps, needs to be appreciated. Regardless of whether Elon Musk would be moving forward with the project or not, Starbase will undoubtedly become one of the most important launch sites on the Earth. This is because this launch site will be connecting other planets and even the Moon. For those of you who don't know, NASA selected the Starship to be the lunar lander for their Artemis program, which will be putting the first man of color and first woman on the south pole of the Moon. The astronauts will launch from Cape Canaveral, Florida in the Orion crew capsule. But the Orion does not come with the right equipment to land on the lunar surface. Instead, an uncrewed Starship will be launched in advance from Boca Chica and then placed into the parking orbit around the Moon. It will then wait for the arrival of the Orion capsule, dock with it, and will then allow the transfer of astronauts. After that, they will be piloting the Starship down to the Moon's surface and back again when the mission is done. We have already seen how far Elon Musk can go when it comes to implementing his plan. Yes, Musk might not be the best person when it comes to fulfilling his deadlines, but this man has got what it takes to propel humanity beyond what it was capable of. In the future, Elon Musk hopes to be a point of departure for people who are traveling to Mars with SpaceX and its mighty Starship, which is capable of transporting 100 people at a time to the Red Planet. But traveling to Mars is never going to be easy, which means people need to make some preparations in advance, and that will require the right kind of living space and infrastructure. Something like Starbase will be able to provide that. So it makes a lot of sense for Elon Musk to transform the village of Boca Chica into the city of Starbase, a living habitat and launch pad into further space exploration. Elon Musk has repeatedly said that life isn't just about solving problems. There should be things that inspire you to move your heart. When you wake up in the morning, you should be excited about the future. If this is the future that Musk wants us to be a part of, then you have all the reasons to be excited. We don't know when we'll be able to colonize the Moon or the Red Planet, but one thing is for sure. It won't take forever, since we need to find another abode for humanity to survive, and Mars clearly looks like the right candidate. The Starbase city might act as a catalyst for much bigger things to come in the future.